You know, in the epic of the Mahabharata, you have these grand destinies forged over lifetimes. But for King Pandu, his entire fate and the fate of his whole dynasty was sealed by one single impulsive act. And that's the tragic story we're going to get into today.
So where does it all start? Right here, with one single arrow. Just imagine it, loosed from a bowstring, sailing through the forest air. It's supposed to be just part of a king's hobby, right? But it's about to become something so much more, an instrument of fate itself.
I mean, how can a single arrow do more than just hit a target? How could it literally rewrite the future for everyone involved? Well, that's the question at the very heart of this story.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to go back. Picture this. We're in a forest just outside the kingdom of Hastinapur. King Pandu is there, on a hunt. But here's the thing. He wasn't really there for the sport. He was there to escape.
Yeah, this wasn't your average hunt. For Pandu, it was a release from the crushing weight of being king. I mean, think about it. All the politics, the pressure of the court, out here, in the quiet of the jungle, this was his only sanctuary, his only real peace.
And then he sees something, a rustle in the bushes. It's two deer, and they're completely lost in a moment of, well, love. It's this beautiful, natural scene. But for Pandu, it doesn't spark a sense of wonder. Nope, it awakens something else entirely, that primal instinct of the hunter.
And this is the moment. It's impulsive, it's thoughtless, and it is absolutely fatal. He doesn't even pause to think. He just draws his bow, lets that arrow fly, and seals his fate in a single split second. So the arrow flies true. It finds its mark. But the sound that comes back, it's not what he expects. It's not the thud of an arrow hitting its target. It's not even the cry of an animal. It's something way, way more chilling.
A human scream, a piercing human scream, just shatters the silence of the forest. And right then, Pandu knows. He knows something has gone horribly, terribly wrong. This wasn't just any hunt, and those were not ordinary deer.
He rushes towards the sound, and that's when he sees the devastating truth. He didn't shoot two animals. He's mortally wounded a powerful sage, the Rishi Kindama, along with his wife. And as the Rishi is lying there, bleeding in near death, he's about to deliver a sentence with the weight of destiny itself.
And this is where you see the sheer poetic justice of it all. The curse isn't just, you will die. No, it's so much more specific. It's this cruel, perfect mirror of his own sin. He destroyed their moment of love, so now love itself is going to be what destroys him.
So, the curse is spoken. And just like that, its effects are immediate and total. Pandu's life, as a king, as a husband, it's over, in a single instant.
I mean, can you even imagine that walk back to the palace? He left the forest a king, and he returns a condemned man. He has to confess everything to his two wives, Kunti and Madri, and you can just picture their entire world crashing down right alongside his.
This curse just completely takes apart his life, piece by piece. I mean, think about it. No physical intimacy. For a king, what does that mean? No love, no children, no heir, a broken lineage. The guilt is just overwhelming. So he gives up his crown, renounces the throne, and decides to live a life of exile. And where does he go? Right back to the very forest that sealed his fate.
So for years, this is their life. Pandu and his wives are basically living as hermits. But that desire for a son, for an heir to carry on the family name, it just eats away at him. And then, one day, a secret comes out, a ray of hope.
And you have to understand, this is his absolute deepest despair. In that time, having a son to continue the lineage wasn't just important, it was everything. For a king, it was a sacred duty. So Pandu feels like he's failed not just himself, but his entire line of ancestors. But right at this rock-bottom moment, Kunti reveals this incredible secret. Turns out, as a young woman, she was given this divine gift, a special boon. She knows a sacred mantra that lets her call upon any god and have a child with them. It's a crazy loophole, a way to get an heir without breaking the curse.
And this is how the 5 famous Pandavas are born. Kunti uses her mantra 3 times, giving birth to Yudhishthir, Bhim, and the great warrior Arjun. Then she generously shares the mantra with the other wife, Madri, who has the twins, Nakula and Sahadeva. And Pandu? Well, he loves these boys with all his heart, but he has to love them from a distance, a constant, painful reminder of the curse that's always hanging over his head.
So years go by, and they're actually pretty happy. The family is living peacefully in the forest. But here's the thing about a curse. It's patient. It can wait. It only needs one single moment to finally collect its debt.
Then one day, it happens. It's a beautiful spring morning. Pandu sees his wife, Madri. The scene is perfect. She looks absolutely radiant. And just for a second, all those years of being careful, all that restraint, it just vanishes. After all those years of being on guard, it all comes down to this. One single moment. A moment where his desire just completely overpowers his fear, and he forgets all about the curse. Forgetting everything, he reaches out and he embraces Madri. It's the one thing he was forbidden to do, the one touch he knew, deep down, would be his last.
And just like that, the curse strikes. Exactly as the Rishi had prophesied, Pandu collapses and dies, right there in Madri's arms. That fatal mistake, made all those years ago with an arrow, is finally paid for, with a single loving touch.
So, that leaves us with a pretty big question, right? Pandu's story is a huge personal tragedy, for sure. But his actions, and ironically, the very sons who were born because of his curse, they're the ones who set the entire stage for the epic war of the Mahabharata. It really makes you think, how often does one single, thoughtless act end up having consequences that just ripple out for generations to come?